Alright, welcome back, Electric Fam. On this vlog, we're going to be downgrading one of our BBSHD mountain bike to a BBS02. With that said, let's cue in the intro. Let's get this puppy out of the way. That's our lineup of collection, as you can see. But this is the BBSHD that we have on this mountain bike, and after hundreds of miles of trail riding, we actually feel that we don't need a BBSHD. It's kind of overkill, at least for me and my wife. So we're going to be swapping this out with a BBS02. And this video is basically to convey how easy it is to install or uninstall these Bafang mid-drives. Man, we've been loving these mid-drives ever since we've got them. Definitely recommend it. You only need really a set of Allen keys. Grab one of these tools if you don't have one yet. These are the you could buy this on Amazon. It's the mid-drive toolkit, and you need a crankset remover. If you don't have one of these, you can just also get one of these. This is like a chain whip tool, and this will also help unlock the mid-drive locks that they have. If you're looking to install one of these, obviously it would just be the reverse version, but yeah, pretty quick, guys. Pretty simple. Maybe that bolt wasn't tight enough, but first remove this bolt. If you are looking to install one of these mid drives, obviously you're going to need a crankset remover as well. What I did, I just bought this set. Honestly, this set over here, it was like $40 on Amazon. It already had these bottom bracket removers, and that's pretty much, after you get that set, it's like $40. You're pretty much close to a bike mechanic, You are going to need a wrench. Forgot to mention, you will need a wrench. So that's clockwise. Everything is clockwise when you're moving. Okay. Just work that out until it gets loose. So this is the Bafang lock nut, and that's where you need, again, you can use this for that ring, or you could use this ring as well. Oh, also, it's helpful if you have a mallet. Forgot to mention. Extremely helpful if you have a mallet. So you're just loosening this out, and it's counterclockwise, obviously. And this one should not be as hard as this one. This one is a little bit harder because this is the actual lock. This is just an additional lock. Basically downgrading. This has grooves right here, 4 grooves that fit to the lock perfectly. And you're just doing the same thing. And you can see that my motor already started to sag because this is the lock that kept your mid-drive motor in place. Alright. Also use Loctite on this. It helps grip on the threads. Blue Loctite. Grab an Allen key for these 2 bolts right here for the triangle mount. This is why I love mid-drives. I must have changed these motors quite some times. A few times. Sometimes I'll put it on this bike, sometimes I'll put it on another bike, and I just love the project, Loosen these bolts. That's the triangle mount. Here it is. Now, these are just washers. It's good to have a few just in case. Every bike fits differently, but it's great to have some washers just as spares. It's kind of hidden, but I'm just going to unscrew the speed sensor mount. That's one of the bolts. And I forgot to mention, you need to snip out some zip ties. So if you have a wire snipper and like a ton of zip ties, they come in handy when you're doing this kind of a project. But obviously we're just removing things for today. So I'm just gonna clip a lot of these things. Yep, I already removed the battery. This is my battery connector here. It's an XT60. Put that aside. And you're pretty much going to do the same on this side as well. I'll show you that in a minute. I just want to make sure that the wires are out of the way. Now we're working on the drive side. You're doing the same thing on the crankset. If I'm not mistaken, this is an 8mm bolt. Get this ready. Plug that in clockwise. Grab a wrench. Okay, your chains. Some people like to remove their chains with unlink it by the chain link, but I don't. You don't really have to do that. I just kind of, you can take out your chains by hand that way, and then once you install, you could also just do the same way. That's all I like to do. That suffices. So the motor is already loose. It just comes out this way. I just want to make sure everything is unplugged. This is your connectors to your accessories in the front cockpit. Yeah, all my wirings are in here, hidden. So I know it's loose already, so I could just pull like so. And yeah, I have everything here. Honestly, this BBSHD is just on the heavy side for me and my wife, and I just like I love the BBS02, you know, it suffices. This thing is, again, BBSHD, if you don't know, it's 1,000 watt to 1,500 watt motor output. It looks like I had some spacers on this side as well, so that you're not scuffing against your frame. Yeah, the BBS02 is 750 to 1,300 watt, and that's all you really need in the trails. Again, unless you're like a heavy set person, that's all you really need. I'm just gonna clean some of these up before I plug in our BBS02. It's good to clean some areas here. Taking this out in dirt so much. All right. Anyhow, that was the hardest part. That was, the hardest part of the job, honestly. Everything else is just wiring your accessories, your battery, and your display, your throttle, and they all run through this one cable here, and your speed sensor. So this is what we're replacing it with. This is a 68mm Bafang BBS02. Check out the link in the description below for additional discount. We're just gonna reverse install, and I already have my bolts here. You just want to plug the bottom bracket in like so, and at this stage it's all about fitment, right? Before you lock anything in place, you want to make sure that your chain ring is not disturbing your chainstay, and that it's freely moving. You also want to just check on this side that, again, nothing is disturbing your chainstay when your chainstay moves up and down, because this is a full suspension bike. So this looks like there's clearance. Nothing is disturbed. Everything looks A-okay. All right, since we're on this side, we're just gonna plug the chains back. This is a 44 tooth. Here are the other things that, many people don't show as well. You want to make sure you have the right adapters to your battery, right? This is an XT60. BBS02 comes with bullet adapters. So just get an adapter bullet to XT60. This is the female, and this is the male, obviously. And then just like that. All right. We're back on the non-drive side of the bike. Just gonna brush some thins here. Everything is somewhat clean. This is your triangle mount. You want to make sure that your teeth is facing your bike frame. That's what bites into the frame and holds the mid-drive together. This part is always different for each bike that I've noticed. You kind of have to account for this space here and put that amount of washers accordingly. Not too much, not too little. It's definitely something that you would play around with. About 3 washers in that space. I mean, it's a little bit of a trial and error but this is actually good because when your motor is sagging, that's not good. But when your motor is already holding into place, sometimes it's like that. These washers already come with the kit, typically. So I'm going to tighten this here. If I haven't mentioned yet, obviously this is like a lighter motor. And I feel it when I'm trying to do bunny hops for sure. When I'm trying to do jumps and stuff. And I could get about an inch higher jumping with this. But that's, that varies on every rider. The more serious you get as a mountain biker, the lighter you want your bike, right? The lighter you want to be able to control your bike. And that's how I feel towards the BBS02s. So that's biting into the frame. Pretty good. Pretty solid. And what makes it even more solid is this. And I like to add Loctite, blue Loctite as well. Thread locker blue, Home Depot. I think it was $8. But this isn't even necessary. As long as you have your washers correctly and tightened already, it's not necessary to have this Loctite, but I just like to add it. I've done this enough too. I kind of know it's going to hold into place already. And this, you just tighten this. Sometimes it's always hard when you have your chainstay right there, right close to the lock. But just be careful that you're not damaging your chainstay. Right here, you're not scuffing it. You could angle it so that you're not damaging your frame. Something to keep in mind. Sometimes, depending on your bracket size, you won't even have enough threads left to fit the other lock. And it looks like that's the case on this one. I'm just going to go ahead and go straight to the crankset pedals, because again, there's no space for the other lock, the Bafang lock, and we won't need it. Won't really need it. It's not necessary. Tighten that puppy in. Wear gloves. I should have been wearing gloves. But I just want to do a quick vlog. Tighten your crank arms. Now, it really depends on your bike frame to how you want to do your wires. I'm not really going to do a tutorial on that because I already have mine pretty set up like in between here. As long as it's not getting in the way of the bike frame, learn your bike, how it moves, how your suspensions compress to your frame, and just get your wires out of the way. I will clean this up. I just want to quickly power her up, connect all the components we need to connect, and then I have a cable management that I like to use to clean up our wires here. I guess I had it connected right here, arrow to arrow. These are just light accessories. It only holds up to 6 volts. And I like to have my own, again, my lights rechargeable, so I don't need the 6 volts. 6 volts is a pretty weak light system anyway. Yeah, and then the speed sensor goes here. This is where zip ties come in handy. But once you have the measurements right, once you know how you're gonna place your wires, for me, everything is gonna pull this way upwards, and then we'll hide it from here. There's only one way to connect the speed sensor. I know it's kind of hidden behind the chainstay, but it's pretty self-explanatory. And obviously my magnet mount is already mounted in place. That's everything. That's why I love these mid-drives. Everything is replaceable. Wires never look good when it's exposed. This is the Alex Tech from Amazon. Pretty cheap. I think it was like $20 for a 25 feet. And let's do some cable management. I mean, measure this by eye, at least for me. For me, I think I need it around here. So we'll cut here, kind of work your way around into making this cable management hug the wires. Look how clean it looks. At least on this side, it looks pretty clean. Adjusting the pedals, obviously opposite to the other side. If your gears are not gearing accordingly, it's really just playing with this barrel adjuster. Counterclockwise is if we'll move your line a little bit that way in case it's not grabbing those lines, those gears. And clockwise will move your drivetrain a little bit outboard of the bike, and in case it's not grabbing some of your smaller gears. Let's go for a ride. Let's go for a test run. All right. Looks like she powers on. All right, bunny hop check. Looks like wirings are good. Yep. All right. Looks like each gear is working. So that's good. Just easy as pie. Downgrading to BBS02, or installing one of these Bafang mid-drive kits. Well, that's going to be today's quick vlog. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Like and subscribe for more content. Definitely check out my useful affiliate links in the description below for discounts on your BBSHD or BBS02 build, or your Super73, or your aerial rider. All right, guys. See you guys in the next video. Peace.